I'm joined now by Louisiana Attorney General Liz Murrill. Attorney General, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I appreciate y'all's interest and coverage.
Absolutely. We of course, we're connected, and we grieve with those who have lost loved ones in that attack. I do want to touch base on something, though. You previously said the Sugar Bowl should have been further postponed. With the Super Bowl and Mardi Gras on the horizon, how do you feel the city and states should approach public safety?
Well, obviously, I think public safety has to be the priority, especially in the aftermath of an event like this. I will say that I think that the game went off without a hitch. Everything went really, really smoothly. I am grateful for that. And, I know that the city mourned collectively at the game and prayed for the victims, and then celebrated overcoming terrorist attacks that try to stop us from carrying out our lives. And so I applaud them for that. And
also the quick response of those agents on the ground.
Absolutely. They have been fantastic. And certainly when I left New Orleans yesterday afternoon, just before the game, there was an enormous law enforcement presence there. And it was probably the safest city in America yesterday. So I had confidence that the game and that everybody attending the game was safe and secure. And, we still have a lot of mourning to do. I mean, there are 14 funerals that still haven't taken place.
Attorney General Murrill, we just got news that President Biden and the First Lady are visiting New Orleans on Monday. What's your reaction to that news?
Well, I think that we always are going to embrace the visit of the President of the United States. My concern now has been to make sure that we have a smooth transition of power in Washington, and that we get people in place in the Department of Justice and at the FBI so that we can address what appears to me right now to be a void in leadership in those places. And so I want to make sure that we're safe, that everybody's safe, and the nation is safe. And that means we need that leadership in place immediately.
Attorney General, what, in your opinion, what are the key challenges Louisiana faces right now in preventing and responding to acts of terrorism, and how do you plan to address them?
Well, I think that we've got to look, everybody's got to continue to look at how to harden your communities and how to deal with targets that we know exist and that just potentially can exist. This is an ongoing problem. It's an ongoing challenge for all of us. We certainly are going to double down those efforts in advance of the Super Bowl and Mardi Gras, and that will continue. You don't go through an event like this and not take a good hard look at what happened, what could prevent it, and what we need to do in the future. It changes your approach forever.
And Attorney General, before I let you go, I do want to respond to something we heard in the press conference yesterday, where officials asked those who may have been in the area to send in any information or video that they may have captured. Can you explain again to the public why it's so important that even if they think they don't have much of anything, why every piece of digital information may be important to the investigation?
Sure. It's absolutely important that we get every piece of information that helps us continue to put the puzzle together of who this individual was, what his psychological motivations and profile was. I mean, we're going to continue to be challenged by identifying people whose mental state is such that they would carry out an event like this, or the same thing with the individual with the explosion of the Tesla truck. Their mental status was affected by things that they had seen and heard, and they had become radicalized. But everyone who's had any contact with them helps us complete that puzzle.
Attorney General Liz Murrill, thank you so much for joining me here on NewsNation. And again, our hearts go out to each of you in New Orleans.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.